Hi, everybody. Welcome to the floor at the Milwaukee Sentinel Sports Show. In the booth with me right now and on our stage is a gentleman who makes a living, or a part of a living, by making custom-made flies and jigs. This is the gentleman you need to meet. His name is Mike Lundy, and he's with Mike's Musky Flies. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks for having me on here today. Before we go forward, I just want to say you've been one of the biggest motivational factors getting into the sport fishing industry. I've known you for 30 plus years, and to see how successful you are with your business with A-Team Tackle and how you've been involved in various sectors, the tournament fishing industry and lure manufacturing. So you've been one of my big motivational factors to starting my own fly tying business. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Let's take a look at what you've brought with us up on the stage, because you got some interesting tools. Where do you want to go with the flies?
So we break the flies into three components. We break them into flies for fly fishing, hair jigs.
Now that's an interesting looking animal there.
Hair jigs and trolling flies. So what I wanted to do, in addition to fly fishing, I wanted to do two other categories so I can cater to a wide variety of audience and be very versatile and dynamic. So category number 2 with hair jigs. This caters to the conventional crowd, utilizing spinning rods and bait casters. And then with trollers, I also make a unique lineup of realistic looking trolling flies. And with the flies for fly fishing, all three of these categories, I wanted to imitate natural forage fish imitations all across nationwide for the various freshwater marine fisheries. And this primary example right here is a Gizzard Shad. And it's a very important pattern in Great Lakes harbors, Great Lakes ecosystems, southern reservoirs, upper lower Midwest, and even out east. So, as you can see here, this is one of my most common, highly sold items. And as you can see here, this individual right here is about 4 inches long, but I can make them as big as 14 inches long if somebody wanted them that big.
So you've got a variety of different ways to do things. You're not bound to one size or one style. On the table, you have some other ones to look at. Now, there's people that are stopping into your fly setup here at the show, so they can come in, they can see some of the things you've done, they can see the flies that you're making, they can buy them right here from the show for you if you want, or they can get a hold of you on your website or via the phone number, which we'll give at the end, and they can pick up whatever they need there. Let's go on with the next one that you've got on the table. Let's take a look at it.
All right. So in addition to natural forage fish imitations like gizzard shad and perch, alewives, and the various species of herring, we wanted to go with classic color schemes like fire tiger for example. And I have two different color combos in the fire tiger. For example, I got the orange grizzly tail, we got the green forest green upper back, and the typical yellow orange underbelly. Then we have another one. It's got the same color scheme, but it's got the chartreuse upper back. So in addition to the natural forage fish schemes, I wanted to do the classic, color schemes that other lure companies use in various, spinner baits and crankbaits, and the newer hard plastic, soft plastic, multi-articulate swim baits and stuff like that.
Well, that's definitely the look of a classic fire tiger. And like you said, a lot of bass fishermen and stuff go to that fire tiger pattern. Mm-hmm. When people are buying through the retail centers looking for lures, whether it's crankbaits, spinner baits, that fire tiger comes up a lot. Mm-hmm. It offers a great deal of brightness, darkness, contrast. It's all built into one pattern. Mm-hmm. I think if bass fishermen, and you can be a major league bass fisherman, you can be a team fishing circuit bass fisherman. I think if bass fishermen were to get a hold of you and try some of these hair jigs, oh my goodness, I think what they would find would blow people away. Because there are a lot of people out there catching fish on hair jigs, but they're not talking about it.
Exactly. Now, if you look at all the various lure categories out there, if you follow hair jigs, they were popular for so long. But the problem with the classic bucktail jig back in the 50s and the 60s when they first came out was tied a huge chunk of hair in. They never took consideration in figuring out like the science of the bucktail hide and other synthetic hair. And for example, bucktail has got a science to it. The upper part of the bucktail is very soft, the bottom is very hollow. and there's a lot of under fur and hair and natural hair, and they never move it. That's why it doesn't move as well. And if you look at this one, for example, it's nice and sparse. All the hair, all the under hair is removed. So this way, it's got lots of action.
They're getting the attraction value that you want that lure to have.
And as a fisheries researcher in Alaska for the Wildlife Conservation Society, I take a huge passion for the science behind with this. So I'm all about matching the major anatomy, coloration, and morphology of a bait fish. So we got your upper back, you got your upper back, light coloration and some flash, like all forage fish or bait fish species. You got your white underbelly, you got your shallopin tail feathers for the tail. Then we talk about the senses of the fish, right? We talk about olfaction, sense of smell. We talk about vision. So we got realistic eyes on here. So we got that covered. And then we talked about hearing. How do fish hear? Well, they got the inner ear and they got the lateral line. The lateral line is the one part of the fish that senses acoustic frequencies and vibrations in the water column. That's where the segmented flash covers the lateral line. And then we got pectoral fins. We got these little hen saddle grizzly feathers imitate the lateral line. That's what I'm trying to get at with my forward slogan with my business is cannot compete with realism. And the mindset with that is the more realistic looking a fly, a hair jig, or even a lure for that matter, even a soft plastic, something that imitates its prey in the underwater world, the most realistic possible is going to get blasted.
Well, you've got an anatomic correctness in this stuff, and that's key, because when fishermen literally have to choose what they're going to throw, they've got to depend on that lure working. And sometimes, I mean, we've heard it's been cliche for years, but match the hatch. That's part of what fishing is all about.
And
go ahead.
We have to think about how fish behave in the underwater world. I guess like us humans, we have different sense. We got our taste, our sense of smell, vision, hearing, touch. And fish in the same aspect. Fish swim. Their goal in life is to swim, reproduce. They swim around and then they die. Basic life functions, right? And I want to incorporate these kind of senses. You have to think about how does a fish attack their prey? Every species of freshwater and marine fish, they attack their prey in a different way. Some fish are pursuit predators. They attack their prey from behind. Some predator fish attack their prey from underneath. Some predatory fish, like catfish, for example, rely heavily on their sense of smell. So we have to think about how do they attack their prey. Or you think of a pike or a musky, if you look how they attack topwater, a lot of times they strike it from the side. So that's how, when I design hair jigs and flies, I have to think about these principles, not just a color scheme when I design hair jigs and flies and fly fishing and the trolling flies.
Wow, there's a lot goes into making these things work. Folks, we are at the Milwaukee show. You can get a hold of Mike. You can buy his flies. This is a dabbling of what this guy does. He was showing me some sculpin models and stuff, some things that we're going to take up and try some smallmouth on. I think the guys down there in Watts Bar and down there in Chickamauga and down there at Gunnersville and you name it, those southern reservoirs down there where smallies and stuff are a target fish, oh my goodness, you guys should be looking at these guys as flies, no doubt about it. Mike, if they were trying to get a hold of you, how are they going to do it?
So I have a website. It's Musky, M-U-S-K-Y, Mike, and then flies, F-L-I-E-S.com. It's all one word, Musky, MikeFlies.com. And on the website, you click on shop, and you can see all the fly patterns and streamers for fly fishing, all the trolling flies on there, and then all the hair jigs. And I have these cool custom builder tool options where you can select whatever color flash you want for the lateral line, what size weight you want on your jig head type, and I use them all: darter heads, football heads, round and mushroom heads, saltwater bullet heads, swimmer heads, you name it.
Alrighty, so with that being said, Pikes, you get a chance to meet Mike, you get a chance to see what he's doing. This is Bob Mehsikomer saying thanks for tuning in. Hey, just remember one thing. If you go into the water, matching the hatch can mean the difference between success and failure. Mike puts a great deal of energy and time in matching the hatch. That being said, hey, we'll see you folks in the next one. Bye-bye.
Thanks, folks. Take care.
Bye-bye. You bet.